We are in an obesity epidemic. Take a look around. You see many people overweight, unhappy, sad, depressed, on several medications that for the most part are doing more harm than good. No one's happy, and we just keep getting sicker despite more medications, more health coaches, more nutritionists, more doctors, but yet a sickening America, more overweight people, more sick people, more people suffering. First things first is that being obese is an inflammatory state. Research shows that excess adipose tissue, fat tissue, releases cytokines. Cytokines is inflammatory responses that inflame the body. And what this does is put you in a state of low-grade inflammation. This low-grade inflammation state leads to many issues that we see today. Cardiometabolic diseases, high blood pressure, insulin resistance, high triglycerides, high cholesterol. All these issues that we see on a day-to-day basis are from excess body fat, thyroid issues, gut problems, adrenal dysfunction, being that you're stuck in fight or flight. Because remember though, if you have excess adipose tissue, that overstimulates neurons in your brain, specifically dopamine. So it keeps you with CRH, corticotropin releasing hormone, to keep triggering all day. It wants that next feeding. It wants that added sugar. It wants all those things that lead you to a fight or flight. Okay, so sure, it's the lifestyle you live, but take a look at this. Excess adipose tissue causes that. 37.3 million Americans have diabetes. 71.6 of Americans are overweight. Let that sink in for a second. 37.3 million Americans have diabetes. And about 70% of Americans 20 or older are overweight. We have more mood-altering medications going on a daily basis than ever before. We have more issues with men fertility, women fertility than ever before. We have more medications going out, just overall. More medications going out than ever before. So let's first decipher the difference between prediabetes and diabetes. So prediabetes is where the level of blood sugar in your body, all right, is higher than normal, but isn't at the threshold that a diabetic would be at. And so that's just the main difference. But most people live in a state where their blood sugars are going up and down all day. Okay, they wake up in the morning, they're super stressed, anxious, and it's from a spike in blood sugar. And that's normal because it works with cortisol. But it being up in the hundreds, 110s, 120s, if you're considered a normal, healthy adult, that's not normal. Okay. And so let's first contribute. So why is everyone overweight? Like, why does everyone struggle with obesity, being overweight? Why does everyone struggle with thyroid issues, even leading into autoimmune issues, hormonal issues like PCOS, PMS, endometriosis? Why does everyone struggle with these things? Well, the number one thing that's causing all these issues is the Western diet, the food that you're putting into your mouth every single day. What you are eating every single day is what's causing you to be in this obesity state. Not genetics. It's not this thing or that thing. It's the food that you're indulging in on a daily basis. And while some might get frustrated and dislike what I'm saying, this is the truth. The Western diet is made up of redefined carbohydrates, excess sugar, added sugar, fructose, industrial seed oil, trans fat, and chemical and preservatives. That's what you're indulging in on an everyday basis. And when you really look at it, when you look at just these 6 things, is it no wonder why you don't feel well and you deal with a chronic health condition? And I'm not out here bashing, because this is what I do for my job. I reverse these issues. I help people do this. So it's not that I'm out here calling people out. So here's something to sit on, though. The Western diet is linked to Alzheimer's disease, neurodegenerative diseases. The Western diet is associated with neurodegenerative diseases, dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. They say that these neurodegenerative diseases is a form of type 3 diabetes. The Western diet we eat, full of all these inflammatory foods, can inflame our body. Okay, we know that. We get these cardiometabolic issues like high blood pressure, cholesterol, insulin resistance, blood sugar, whatever. But it actually does something called it causes something called neuroinflammation. This is now when the inflammation has broken through the blood brain barrier, and now it's inflaming neurons in our brain. And we know that Parkinson's disease is related to the neurotransmitter dopamine. Okay? So when our brain gets inflamed, it messes up neurotransmitters, especially dopamine, perhaps serotonin, and then so many other ones, but then causes a neurodegenerative decline, neurodegenerative diseases. And so we need to know this. Okay? The Western diet, take a look again. The Western diet is associated with insulin resistance. It is also associated with gut dysbiosis. Anyone dealing with a chronic gut issue, that can be traced back to a Western diet, the food that you're indulging. Now remember, it's your gut. So if your gut's a mess, it probably starts with what you're eating. The Western diet is associated and has net effects for pretty much your nervous system. So what that means is that if you're eating a Western diet filled with all types of inflammatory foods, now puts you into what's called a sympathetic dominant state. And this is a state of your nervous system where you're stuck in fight or flight. So people want to contribute high cortisol to being stuck in fight or flight, which is inevitably true. But the reason why that could happen is from eating the Western diet and having excess adipose tissue fat. So don't forget that. Next is the Western diet is causing high cholesterol, high LDL, low HDL, triglycerides elevated, many more issues. And the last but not least, the Western diet infects the RAS system, renin, angiotensin, and aldosterone, which all relate to your heart. Your heart. So if you're eating a Western diet that's filled with all types of sugars, redefined carbohydrates, inflammatory foods, industrial seed oils, then that would inevitably impair the health of your heart. This isn't just the ovaries or the testes for hormones. This isn't the thyroid gland. This isn't the gut, but your heart. So what can you do about this? Well, number one is to change your diet, obviously. But maybe some are not sure where they should go. The first thing is just eating whole food, more single ingredient food. Lowering the amount of ingredients in the things that you're eating. If you can, get organic, pasture raised. If you're on food stamps or whatever, you can still buy healthy food. There's many people out there that dismantle the thing that healthy food is expensive. Okay? You can get healthy food. It doesn't even have to be organic, grass-fed. It doesn't even have to be like that. You can just get whole food that's near single ingredient, that's relatively more inexpensive than going to the frozen aisle and getting any of those things. Okay? Exercise. Now, this isn't going to tell you to go buy a $300 membership at a hit CrossFit gym. This is telling you to go outside and walk 20 to 30 minutes a day to start with. It's saying maybe do some air squats, do jumping jacks, maybe walk up and down a hill, maybe do get a membership, maybe do find some resistance exercise, preferably push-ups, sit-ups. Just get your body moving. Supplementation, now I shouldn't even mention this, but specific supplementation works, especially since we want to take a root cause approach to your excess adipose tissue. And so most people will tell you eat less, move more. The issue is not the body fat. The issue is the inflammation. So if we can lower the inflammation, then we can lower the excess body fat and we don't need to cut calories and move more right away. And I do this on a daily basis. So if we remove the inflammation, we can lower blood glucose, triglycerides, get cholesterol under control. We don't need to cut a bunch of calories and make you work out more. But that's just because we take a root cause approach. And that's last, taking a root cause approach. If you want to actually keep the weight off long term, you have to get to the underlying reasons to why you are dealing with this. Sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes it's chemical toxins. Sometimes it's spiritual. You don't have a light at the end of the tunnel. So no matter what's going on right now, taking a root cause approach to whatever health issue you are dealing with is going to help you for the long term. And this is why, right now, 30% off all coaching packages. Free GI map or Dutch hormone test, depending on what issue you're specifically dealing with. You're going to get free testing done. Way better than standard blood work that you're getting. So, if you want to be done with this, get to the root cause, finally lose the stubborn body fat, and stop suffering, then this is for you. My name is Diego Reyes, a functional health coach, functional nutritionist, owner of Complete Vitality Functional Health Coaching. We are a functional health coaching organization that helps men and women just like you get to the root cause, lose 20 plus pounds of excess body fat, heal their gut, balance their hormones, and regain their self-worth and confidence. If you want to learn more, then check out my website and book a free call, or check out my Instagram and message me directly. Have a blessed day, and I'm with you for life.